Hi everyone, my name is Kristy Patterson of A Home's Journey, and I am here hosting another Foyr Talks. I am really excited to have today with us Abbie Downey. Her handle, Feather and Fossil Interiors Design. She's based out of the UK and she is another maximalist designer. And so we're going to talk to her today all about her experience with Foyr, discovering Neo, how she uses that in her business, and lots of other fun things. While I go ahead and bring her on, if you guys could, I would love to know, for who is listening today, if you are a Foyr user, if you could just drop us a comment or show us some sort of emoji or something. I would love to know how many people who are users are joining us, and can't wait to talk to you guys more. All right, let me go ahead and bring Abbie on. Drum roll. There she is.
Hello.
Hi, Abbie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much. So it's so wonderful to have you. I'm really excited to talk to you today all about your experience with Foyr and utilizing their Neo software and how you utilize that in your business, how it's changed your business. But before we jump into all of that stuff, I would love to hear about your design journey, how you got started, where your style comes from. So tell us all about you.
Yeah, okay, sure. So I'm Abbie. I'm based in England, in Devon, which is right at the very bottom of England. And last year I set up my own interior design business called Feather and Fossil Interior Design. And I specialize in maximalism as a concept. So traditionally that kind of definition is lots of color and pattern and texture, lots of art, accessories, a very more is more approach, lots of layers. And I like to kind of interpret maximalism in my way. So this is kind of in three areas, I kind of say. So I've decided to coin a term called choreographed clutter, because I'm actually quite a bit of a perfectionist, which doesn't typically go with maximalism as a design. But I think it's a really great way to collectively show artwork or accessories, and a really good way for people to bring their personality into a space and make sure it's really visually pleasing.
That's
Yeah, sorry. The second one kind of links to that, which is personality. So I really believe that interiors should be a showcase of someone's personality. You should instantly be able to walk into a space, and whether it's a business or a home, and know who lives there or works there. And you should know their favorite color, their favorite space in that room, how they use the space. And I think maximalism is a really brilliant opportunity to do that, because you can just go for it. You can use all the colors, you can use all the patterns, you can add all that artwork in. And then the final one is I love to work with old and new. So I love working in old properties, working with old furniture, upcycling, going for like a hunt and going through loads of antique shops and finding really interesting stuff that really tells a story. And then pairing that with things that are new, that are much better for kind of practicality, so storage and functionality. So that's kind of my design style and technique. And it's kind of a new decision for me to go into interior design. It's always been something I've done on the side, but I've worked in project management traditionally in that kind of health role. So I've brought that project management across to the thing I've done as a hobby, and I'm really enjoying it. It's been amazing.
That's awesome. I mean, it really makes sense from, shifting, because a lot of designers that I've talked to, this is a second career. This is a second career for me.
Okay.
And so taking those skills that we learned in, our first career and translating that and implementing it into what we're doing today, there's a lot of, beneficial traits and attributes that we carry with us that you're maybe not thinking, like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't have the computer skills, or I don't have the management skills. And if a lot of times I bet you do, or people don't realize that they do.
They're a lot more transferable than you think, aren't they? Like you said, especially with health, there's quite a big movement on interiors and health, and that's a space I'd like to look into. So how you can use interiors for your well-being, for stress management in commercial settings in health.
I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, you're marrying both worlds.
Yeah, marrying too.
That's awesome. So as you are, maximalist is big, right? Like you say, big colors, big patterns, big everything. As you are working with clients and selling your style, have you found that, I guess let's step back and say, as you were trying to promote your style, how did you get that across to your client and get them to say, okay, like, yes, I can do this? Because they think it would be scary maybe for some people.
Definitely. I think that's one of the stumbling blocks I came across first. I kind of assumed everyone could visualize like I do. So I know I can walk into a space and see how it's going to look at the end, what I'm going to change, what I'm going to do. And I just assumed everyone would be able to do the same thing. And that's when you come across the clients and they say, I don't know how to see that. I don't know what you mean by those things. So being able to start with like a concept board, initially to show them the color schemes you're thinking, the furniture items you're going to have, that worked well, but it wasn't enough to push them over the line for them to feel comfortable of how their space was going to look. And like you said, Maximism's quite bold. So if you did say to someone, I'm going to paint your ceiling pink and your walls blue and put loads of pictures up, they'll go, I don't think I like that. But when you can show it to them, which you can do with Foyr, it's a really great way for them to feel comfortable with space, and they know that end product, which obviously saves time design wise, but also saves them the commitment and the money of doing something that they ultimately might be a little bit scared of and really going for.
Absolutely. Yeah, as I started, I began to realize I needed something beyond just my own sketches or me, verbal spewing all of my grand ideas. And I needed something to really show them. And, I think a mood board is great. And I would say, absolutely, that's the smartest thing to do to start out conceptually, just to even find out if you're on the right path, right?
Yeah.
But at that same time, being able to show them their space, like that to me has been the game changer. It's their home, and it's not just some like model mock home. It's their little, nuances to the walls or the tile. And so it's, for me too, just like you, it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's really enhanced what I'm able to offer to people. Like I said, even down to those minute details of where the light comes into the room. And how it will look in the day to how it will look in the evening and different seasons. You can just show all of those things, which, like I said, traditional kind of mood board or concept board, it gives a really great idea that you can start with. But it just builds on that and adds like a really wonderful package for the client.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you find Neo? Where did you stumble across it?
I tried lots of different software. I was trying to go down a rabbit hole of just trying new ones all the time. And I just came across it. I just Googled, honestly, just kind of started going through different software, trying them out. I found some of them really clunky. Some of them were easy to use, but then the output wasn't great. It wasn't overly visual. It was quite CAD and 2D. So trying to find a balance between one that was easy to use and really visual was pretty hard. And then I came across Foyr and I did a trial. And I was like, oh, I'm sold. This is the one I need. The variety that you can have with the package is amazing.
Yeah. I completely agree. And for me, I just continue to see improvements in the software consistently. And it's been made my life a whole lot easier as I go through and design things, and just the feedback that you can provide to them and they want it, and then implementing those changes. You're like, oh my gosh, like they really are listening to me.
Yeah. I'm always kind of sending things on live chat and just, oh, could you just help me with this or that? And the response is instantaneous and so helpful. And then, like you said, there's kind of email notifications you get, and like, oh, there's something new.
Right.
I'm going to go on and try it out. I think one of the newer ones that I've loved using is where you can draw your own product, but now you can save that to the catalogue. So then if I go on to a new design or an iteration of a design, I'm like, right, just drop that straight in. Whereas before I was like redrawing it each time in all those little details, and like I said, I'm a bit perfectionist, so I was like, it's not quite lining up with the time it saved me, and just in the catalogue, and then it can be used. And so that's one of my favorite kind of new versions they've added.
Yeah. For me, it's the punch. And so let's say you're, putting a door onto a wall or a sink into a vanity, and there used to be that, you'd have to notch it out, and now you can literally just drop it, hit a button, and boom, it's gone. So
I was doing a kitchen design the other day, and I was saying, I can just punch the sink in. I can use any worktop and just put the sink in. It's just those little things that, like I said, the time saving, but they're quite exciting to learn and use. I've been having a little play around with the AR stuff, and you can take the sofa and you can put it into the room you're in, which is really exciting for clients. Just takes up that next level of kind of virtual reality. So I think a little go with that one as well.
Right. And I was thinking about you know, a blog post, right? And what an interior designer would need to take with them to a client meeting. And that just brings a great point to the toolkit, which would be taking Foyr with you, taking Neo with you, and, you know, having LTE service or cellular service on an iPad, for instance, or, you know, a mobile device, computer, whatever your, you know, mode of technology is, and pulling that up in front of the client, and, you know, bringing that immersive experience to them and seeing how they can, you know, make changes on the fly. And I think that just up levels the professionalism.
It does. It gives you kind of a new edge, and it takes away that uncertainty from the client, and also the time, because if they're really sat on, say, an armchair and you know it's not really going to fit in space, if you can show them how that looks, they might go, oh, actually, you're right, the flow isn't going to work. What else can we try? And then you can just pop another one straight in and they can see it and compare the two. Whereas if you're doing it kind of online or in person, you have to go back, change it, come back to them. They haven't got that instant comparison. So it's hard for them to remember the two options, choose between them. So it's a really great addition to the toolkit when you're going out to clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, or being on a client site and then taking measurements and thinking, oh, what was it, 44 inches or was it 30 inches or the height of a window? And, you know, I'll always snap pictures on my phone at a client location and, you know, my chicken scratch of my measurements. And so today, as I was working on a master bedroom, this window, it's kind of, you know, it's like a casement window, but it's square and it sits up high, but I was going to put a tall boy dresser to ground it underneath. And it was literally like 1.5 inches too tall. And had you not had Foyr or Neo in, you know, real to life scale of the space itself, I could have recommended that, and then it arrived and it would have been disastrous, you know, because then you look like you don't know what you're doing.
No, definitely. It gives you that option, like I said, and then you know before you give that to a client or advise it, which obviously is a benefit on our part, massively.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what else would, you know, I was going to ask you, you kind of already jumped into one of my questions. I was going to ask you for your top three, you know, things. So what else do you love?
I love the visualization factor of it, I think. I've had lots of comments on the 4K renders, people thinking they're like the finished product, which would be amazing. I'm like, it's that quick, it's done, it's that tidy all the time. But it allows people, again, with Maximism, to really see how it's going to look in the end product. They can get the exact color tone of it, space, and you can do those walkthroughs. So putting them in the space and allowing them to kind of pan left and right, up and down, they really feel grounded in the area, and they can see exactly how it's going to look, how they're going to walk through, where things are going to be placed. So I think that's one of my kind of key benefits of using it, along with the other two. And I think the fact that you can change the textures, I love playing around with that. So I'll just grab a sofa from the catalogue, and then the shop that I'm going to use, I'll go on and take a screenshot of their fabric and their colour, and then add it straight on. And then the client knows exactly what they're getting, almost to like a photoreal standard, in their space. And it's not kind of, oh, it'll be this but a different color, or this color but a different shape. You can make it really bespoke and really perfect to their design.
Absolutely. And I snapshot all the time, and or screenshot, I should say, and upload my textures. And I also love it customizing things like a picture frame on a wall. And so my client, she wanted a gallery frame, and I went on her Instagram page and I snapshotted little, you know, family photos that they had taken with their daughters and plopped those in there. And she noticed it immediately, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, it's our family photos. And so it's really truly their space.
It's really personalized. I did similar in Teenage Bedroom. She's a big music fan. So from the pictures I've been sent from the client, I was able to go in and realize what artwork she had up, which albums she liked, so I could include all that music in the space. And she was like, I really feel like you've listened, and I know that you've got my personality, you've got the style I want. Just from those little additions of adding them into a frame or into like a shelf.
So what would you tell somebody who is getting started or looking to decide on a platform for their business? What would you tell somebody who's kind of on the fence?
I'd say try them all, because I think I'm a big believer of having a go and seeing which one fits for you. But I would definitely say it's a really easy to use software. So if you are new to kind of drawing, 3D drawing CAD, it's probably one of the easier ones to use. And the outputs you get for the time you put in are really, really good quality. And there's a range. You can start from that kind of 2D aerial view, which allows you to show a client the layout and space, the flow, and move all the way through to the kind of 3D drawings of one particular wall or a full space. And then through to the renders and through to the walkthrough. So the package you're able to give to a client kind of far surpass, I think, some of the other options available. And I think it's got really good community. I feel really supported by the Neo team. Like I said, I can always jump on chat and they'll answer, or they're always on Instagram. They share really great stuff on their Instagram account. I'm always taking part in like the polls and the quizzes. It's good to kind of just keep my knowledge tested and that. So I feel like it's more than just a software package. There's like a real great community there, the blog posts, the other people you can speak to. So I'd say it's definitely one to go for and to use, but just try those other ones out, even if it's just to prove how good it can be when you use Foyr.
Yes, I agree completely. So, well, any parting words for our community here and anybody who's joined us today?
Yeah, so just thank you for joining and listening. So that kind of, if anyone wants to know more about Feather and Fossil, you can jump on our Instagram page or website. We've got lots of different packages. We've got lots of tips and advice through blogs and Instagram content. So there's lots more there. And if anything, just go a little bit more maximal if you can each day. Embrace the colour and the pattern.
There you go.
You'll be happy for it.
Yes. And I'm trying. I'm really trying. As you can see, like very not maximalist behind me. Well, before we go, I want to make sure we touch on a couple things. Foyr is going to be hosting a webinar on designing small spaces, designing a kitchen like a pro. So this is going to be happening September 21st. It's going to be for homeowners and designers, and they're going to take you through how to build out a kitchen and design something that is in a small space. So please visit the link in Foyr's bio for registration, and more to come on that as well. We always talk about the discounts that you can get as far as saving on a new plan. You can do IG50 as a US 50% discount. So if you live in the US, use that on a new plan, an annual plan. And then for our international customers, it is in social 30. So INSOCIAL 30. So that would be a 30% off for an international plan, annual plan. So don't miss the webinar. Go ahead and register. Please check out Abbie. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.